Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Indy Pro recap. Men's Open Bodybuilding. If you guys did not purchase the live stream, shame on you. You missed a lot of great content. But let's go ahead and run through the top 5 finishers. Honestly, guys, pretty impressive lineup. The guys just looked so phenomenal. Lots of surprises here. And we're going to see it here with our first athlete to place in 5th place as it pops up in just a second here. Brent Swansen ended up coming out with his pro debut and top 5 finish. Now, it was stated a few times, and I definitely noticed it myself. Not the prettiest structure, but really, really good conditioning, really good separation. Being his pro debut, I definitely see him putting on quite a bit of muscle in the needed areas. I'd say his midsection is, quite thick, quite dense for, what his musculature looks like, how it flows. I definitely would like to see more legs, more chest, arms, just all around. He's just going to need to spend some time in the gym. And, obviously he's been doing that. IFBB Pro in his pro debut, top 5, and one of the bigger shows so far this year. So, big congratulations to Mr. Brent Swansen at Brent Swansen on Instagram. In 4th place, I wouldn't say, I'd say it's a surprise, but, Justin Rodriguez, the favorite, the returning Indy Pro champ, ended up taking 4th in this show. And, ladies and gentlemen, what can we say here? The conditioning wasn't here. I would love to get Justin on the show and have a conversation with him to see what the plan was coming into the show. Did they just miss the peak, or are they saving that perfect peak for the New York Pro? It's really hard on the body to go through so many prep peaks. He looked phenomenal at the Arnold Classic and then came in, a little bit softer in finals, kind of faded. So he definitely hit the mark, not even a month or so ago. So it definitely, and let me know down below, guys, your thoughts on it, ladies and gentlemen. But it's definitely going to be fatiguing on the body, on the adrenal glands, things of that nature. Now, when we look at Justin Rodriguez, he placed 4th here, and the big reason's the conditioning, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very thick, very dense, very wide from the back. Definitely one of the wider guys on the stage, but you can be a brick shithouse and you're just not going to get that look from the judges if they really can't see the separation, the striations, the vascularity, things of that nature. So, although I think a lot of us wanted Justin Rodriguez to win and then roll into the New York Pro and potentially win that one as well, that was not the case at all. And, best of luck to him. I'm pretty sure he's going to go do the New York Pro. Gosh darn it. He might even go and do the Cali Pro in 3 weeks. So definitely a lot of options for him to qualify again for the Olympia, placing, correct me if I'm wrong down below, but 8th place at last year's Olympia. So definitely a contender to do very, very well. I would say it's definitely a fluke that he got beat out by some of these guys. He wasn't in condition, and that's going to be the story today. Is he didn't bring the conditioning, and he lost out to, no disrespect, but some inferior competitors. Justin Rodriguez, 8th place at the Olympia last year, speaks to the caliber of an athlete that he is. Moving into 3rd place, trying to keep this lively, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes I critique a little too much. Maxx Charles, absolutely phenomenal what he was able to accomplish from prejudging to finals. We're going to see his posing routine just in a second here from finals. I know Bob Ciccarello and Misfit was talking about how improved he was from prejudging to finals. They said something like 50% better. I don't know. Let me know down below your thoughts on that one, but I definitely think he came in harder. He definitely came in more separated, but 50% more, that's a really impressive showing. It's a really impressive turnaround in such a short time. But I think when we first started this channel, a lot of you guys were Maxx Charles fans, and I think it was during the Tampa Pro you guys were really upset that he got overlooked like he did. Didn't even place in the top 4. And Maxx Charles is a perennial perennial Olympian. He's always getting to the Olympia. And, he's one of those guys who's always going to be in that top 6 for most shows, unless he's a little off, and that's something we can't really anticipate, but it's definitely something that the judges, myself, and you, ladies and gentlemen at home, can notice. Perfect scenario is the Justin Rodriguez situation. He didn't show up the way he needed to, and that's going to be the big story here. But I want to give a lot of credit, a lot of praise, admiration to Maxx Charles. I think he just did a phenomenal job coming into the show, and I love his midsection. He's definitely one of those guys that when you see him on stage, your eyes go to him. Your focus is really locked in on him, and I think that's something that he takes a lot of pride in. But congratulations, Maxx Charles, on a top 3 finish at this year's 2022 Indy Pro. Now we get into the juicy stuff here. Charles Griffen, as you can see here, not happy with the placings. He was really shocked he didn't win the show. I had a good inclination. I had a really good feeling that they were going to give it to Blessing. He was really, really improved. The structure just really spoke for itself. And I think that he did what he needed to do to win this show. And that's not taking anything away from Charles Griffen. He's a phenomenal athlete, great bodybuilder. Came back in after a couple years. I think he competed at the 2018 Tampa, and then took some time off. Did one show last year, I think again the Tampa Pro, and then rolled into a couple shows here. So I think he did a phenomenal job. I think he did a lights out performance of promoting the show. He was very well spoken on the interview booth with Bob Cigarello, and I just think he did a good representation for the sport. So although he did not win the Indy Pro, he did mention that he wasn't going to do the New York Pro. I would be surprised if he doesn't redact that statement. I'd be very surprised if he didn't roll into the New York Pro looking for retribution or more points. Sometimes you can't always win every show, but I think Charles Griffen is definitely one of those competitors that can stay in the top 3, top 5, top 6, of really any show, especially when we look at the tier 1, tier 2 shows. So that's my thoughts. Best of luck to him in the near future. Mark my words, he's probably going to do the New York Pro. And last but certainly not least, Blessing Awodibu, bringing home the hardware. Now, again, I think I was pretty critical of him, and I think that's fair. His proportions are very interesting, but at the end of the day, I think he really did what he needed to do to clinch this Olympia qualification, to win the Indy Pro, and probably expect him to return next year. But the real question is, now that he's qualified for the Olympia, where do you think Blessing Awodibu is going to land in the Olympia? What athletes, what top Olympians do you think he could potentially stand next to? I would say, if he was on a really good day, he could maybe crack the top 10 this year. But, it's really going to be a tough one just to see what kind of athletes are returning this year. Over the last couple of years, we've had kind of a hit and miss on some of the top guys. Some people not being able to travel, case in point, we weren't able to see Eslam Mohamed at the in the Open at the Indy Pro. So there's always going to be that stipulation of people not being able to travel, but I don't see that being an issue for Blessing. He trains out of Florida with Redcon 1. I've already roasted Redcon 1 enough in my videos today, so I'll leave it there. But big congratulations to Blessing Awodibu. I mean, like I said, really, really nice structure. I'd like to see his lats get a little thicker. But, when you look at his high lat insertions, you really can't fix that. You can't fix lat inserts. So it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. But that'll do it for my coverage of the 2022 Indy Pro in the men's open bodybuilding division finals and award ceremony. Stay tuned. I'm still kind of battling an illness today, so stay tuned for my 212 and my women's bodybuilding recap. But ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it. Thank you for watching another episode here on the Bodybuilding News Network. If you enjoyed my style of bodybuilding content coverage, contest coverage, consider subscribing. But yeah, my name's Saunch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.